John Eustace has really turned it around at Derby County as they've gone back-to-back victories for the first time since September. Will they be able to make it 3 in a row this weekend versus Plymouth Argyle? That's going to be a very interesting one. But let's talk a little bit more about this turnaround. Derby County have tried out a range of different formations this season, including since the arrival of John Eustace. But John Eustace has found a way to get this team defending well and creating chances, and that falls in the face of a 3-5-2. Now, me personally, I'm not a massive fan of Derby County playing a 3-5-2, especially at home, but John Eustace has really opened my eyes. Over the course of recent games, Derby County have been much more effective, not just in their own box, but also in the opposition box, with Marcus Harness being the shining light across the course of the last few weeks. Now, obviously, for Derby County, this turnaround cannot just be temporary. If we want to stay in this Championship division, it must continue to go on, and Derby County must continue to fight and stay in this division. Now, obviously, the move to the 3-5-2 has seen a real good change of momentum for Derby County with those back-to-back victories. We've seen Harrison Armstrong come into his own in midfield. We've seen Craig Forsyth really back to his best. And we've also seen Ryan Niambi play a wing-back position, which according to Paul Warne, he wasn't able to do. Now, we've also seen Jerry Yates and Marcus Harness become much better in their roles, as well as seeing a revelation in Liam Thompson. Ebro Adams has took the captaincy, which has been a massive improvement for him, and he's been absolutely incredible the last couple of games. I still have my reservations about Ebro on the ball, but he's certainly proven me wrong at this current moment in time. Now, obviously, for John Eustace and Derby County, the main focus is around picking up results, no matter which way they do it. Obviously, over the course of recent games, set pieces have been a key factor to that, and also making sure we've got a number of players in the box. Just on Saturday versus Blackburn Rovers, when Ebro Adams scored his goal, Derby County had 4 players in the opposition penalty box. When we look at Marcus Harness's goal versus Coventry City, we again had 4 players in the Coventry City penalty box. And that's something which we didn't see often under Paul Warne, and something which really needs to be developed over the course of the next few weeks. For me, Derby County have a wide range of players who can certainly score goals and certainly provide quality opportunities for the opposition. And with a rise of confidence within this squad, we're certainly seeing that bear fruit. Now, obviously, for Derby County, there's a lot that is going to change over the course of not just the next few weeks, but also the next few months. And a lot of that will fall on John Eustace. Now, can John Eustace continue this run of form? Can he continue this turnaround? In my opinion, absolutely yes. He's shown us what he was capable of with the likes of Blackburn and Birmingham, and why can he not show us that here at Derby County? Now, obviously, we're still waiting for the introduction of Jeff Hendrick, as well as the return of a couple of players like Corey Blackett-Taylor and even Nathaniel Mendes-Lang. But will Derby County be able to continue in this 3-5-2 formula? For me, absolutely. In my opinion, I actually believe that the injuries to Mendes-Lang and the injuries to Ben Osborne have been tremendous for Derby County. It sort of forced John Eustace's hands into this 3-5-2 formation and giving Liam Thompson and Harrison Armstrong an opportunity. I think Harrison Armstrong has been absolutely revolutionary since stepping into that midfield versus Middlesbrough. In my opinion, I thought he was man of the match in that game, and I think he's had the opportunity to be man of the match in every game since then too. Now, obviously, Harrison Armstrong is still an 18-year-old lad. He may have a couple of bad games over the course of the next 9. Obviously, fingers crossed he doesn't, but he certainly took over that foothold that David Ozo held a couple of weeks ago. Will he be able to continue pushing? The only hope that we can have is to hope. That's it. We've just got to hope and pray that he can. And that's something which I believe that Harrison Armstrong will absolutely be able to do. Now, obviously, as we're heading towards an international break, it's really important to see where Derby County can go and where they can end up. And for me, we certainly, at the end of this weekend, could be well outside of those relegation zones. I think as we're talking right now, Plymouth Argyle are winning their game versus Portsmouth, which obviously will be done by the time you watch this video, and I will have spoke about it in my earlier video today previewing Plymouth Argyle. But obviously that's nothing we need to worry about. The only games we need to worry about is those teams ahead of us and making sure we get ahead of them. I do believe that we play every team around us over the course of the next few weeks, and it's going to be very interesting to see if Derby County can come out on top. Obviously, there's a lot of changes going on for Derby. The change of system, the change of training, the change of manager, the change of coaching setup. But it certainly seems to be working a treat for those Derby County players. And John Eustace really seems to have found himself an opportunity to push this club onto pastures new. Now, if Derby County can stay up this season, there's no reason why we can't build a real proper quality Championship squad in this summer transfer window. With John Eustace at the helm and the recent turn of form, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but it puts us in a really good spot heading into the summer. If Derby County go on and win another 3 or 4 games, I personally believe we'll be safe in this division and will survive, and that's out of 9 available. Now, I do believe that Derby County can go on a run of 4 wins in 9. We've just done 2 wins in 2, so why not push a little bit further? It'll be very interesting to see how the Derby County squad react when they finally, eventually do get out of that drop zone. Whether that happens this weekend or versus Preston in a couple of weeks or even after that, it's going to be really interesting to see how this team progresses and turns it on when we hit that position. Obviously, we've been great recently, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. There is still a real risk of relegation, and this turnaround may only be temporary. But the important thing is that during this spell of good form, we get enough points to pull ourselves out of the drop and make sure that when it comes to the final day, we are safe. That's something which I want. It's something which many Derby County fans want. And a few months ago, in December, I thought we could have been safe towards the end of March. Ultimately, that isn't the case, and we're still battling for our lives in this division. But Derby County absolutely have the ability to stay in this division. They have the quality in the squad, and they just have to show it. The problem will come if Derby County suffer more injuries. If we lose a Jerry Yates, if we lose a Harrison Armstrong, an Ibu Adams, a Matt Clark, a Craig Forsyth, then Derby County could be in real trouble. With Sondre Langas already set for a spell on the sidelines, Ryan Niambi, I'm not entirely sure the situation with him. We're supposed to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, but then played 90 minutes on Tuesday night. It's a real interesting situation that Derby County and John Eustace find themselves in. And I think this turnaround is only the start of what John Eustace is going to do for Derby County. Whether it be a relegation season and pushing for promotion in League One next year, John Eustace really has the backing of this Derby County fan base, and after 2 amazing results, you can see it back in the stands. I've always said that Derby County fans will always back their team, but they have to give the fans something to back. We can't back 0-0 until the 80th minute, especially when we've not been winning games and struggling to score goals. But what John Eustace has done is made us solid at the back and solid going forward. We've added quality in both boxes without even changing the team, and that's something which John Eustace has to take huge credit for, as well as those coaches on the training field in Matt Gardner, Keith Downing, Paul Clements and Steve Round, if he's having an input in what John Eustace is doing Monday to Friday. Now obviously for Derby County, there's a massive opportunity here for survival if they can hold on to this turnaround, which I personally believe we can do should the squad stay pretty similar to what it is now. Obviously the international break is going to be massive for those players who are not just out injured, but those players that have been playing 90 minutes week in, week out. It's going to be very interesting to see John Eustace potentially assess some of those youth products who could potentially have an impact for Derby County heading into those last 8 games after the international break. So massive run for Derby County and a massive run for all of those clubs down at the bottom. Who will come out on top? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and I'll catch you in my next video.